Lowe's knows you want to get more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on holiday decor, tools, and more. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details, subject to change.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers made sure Paul George did not have a happy homecoming Wednesday night. The Clippers cruised to a 110-98 win over Philadelphia at the Intuit Dome. It was George's first game against his former team. PG played 24 minutes and finished with 18 points and 4 turnovers. Norman Powell led the Clippers with 26 points. The Clippers are 4-4. The Lakers wrapped up a 5-game road trip, losing 4 out of 5. They were dominated by Memphis, 131-114. Memphis shot 50% from three-point range. The Lakers' perimeter defense needs some work. Anthony Davis did not play. He's got a bruised left foot. LeBron had 39 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Oklahoma City is no longer the only undefeated team in the Western Conference. OKC lost by 2 at Denver. 29 points for Denver's Russell Westbrook. Oh man, he still would look good in a Clippers uniform. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Feeding Our Friends on the Outside will be hosting its 15th annual Feeding the Homeless event in Greater Los Angeles on Sunday, November 10th from noon until at 11129 South Central Avenue in Los At If you would like to donate or volunteer, please call 310-981-6377 or email them at feedingourfriends05@gmail.com. feedingourfriends05@gmail.com. It's the 15th anniversary of Feeding Our Friends on the Outside, Sunday, November 10th from noon until 11129 South Central Avenue in Los Angeles. For more information, call 310-981-6377. 310-981-6377. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
And our fire. Come hang out with us as we walk through our neighborhoods, even down our dark alleys. Because just around the corner, there's laughter, misplaced miracles, unspeakable pain, and yes, forgiveness. It's all happening Sunday, November 17th, 4 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood, 226 South Market Street. Last year, audiences raved. Best show in decades. An unforgettable night. Groundbreaking. Sweet Spot Live was thought-provoking and enlightening. Standing ovations begging for more. Please, more. It was a great night. So back by popular demand, it's Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis. Get your tickets right now at themiracleinglewood.com. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you in the Sweet Spot.
What's really happening? To the ghetto, the 9-9, Silk the Shot, Mr. Craig B. He's still in the ghetto in 4. You hoy me. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. 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 Did I do that? That's right, my meat and potatoes come from my lyrical labor. I throw my rhymes for no limit. Like Jeff Jones over the Raiders. Go cut the head off a hater. Go catch
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know whose theme song that is. He is a writer, a journalist with the LA Progressive and other publications, a podcaster. The Conversation Live is his joint, and he is a contributor to KBLA Talk 1580. James Farr, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what?
It ain't my fault. That's your theme song.
Well, you know, it ain't my fault. I'm unbothered, but you know, I'm here to hold space and to listen to my sisters because I understand. Yesterday was a little bit tough.
Well, here's the thing. If you haven't been following the bouncing ball, you know. James has been going hard for the shirt that he has on, West Abdullah, third party. And there are a lot of folks that I've talked to, and I'm sure you've talked to, who are not happy with third party folks because Kamala Harris lost. That said, I think it is fair to note that the margins were not that slim. The number of votes that went to West Abdullah and other candidates. Although in certain places I can see the Jill Stein margin making a difference. I don't think that it's just the margin of votes, though. I also think it's about the efforts, like how many votes a James Farr or a Dr. Melina Abdullah or a Dr. Cornel West could have moved to the other column.
I don't think that was the case. And again, from the very beginning, it was with an understanding that most of the people who would have voted for, specifically Dr. Cornel West and Dr. Abdullah, were unlikely, to vote for either a Democrat or a Republican. And as we see, as the numbers have come out, there's two ways of looking at it.
There's multiple ways of looking at it.
But I want to focus on the folks who worked in the campaign and the 50,000 or so, as the number stands right now, votes that Dr. West and Dr. Abdullah earned. Right, those are folks who are committed to the Justice for All party and looking forward. Right.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I know that I shifted a couple people from Trump.
Sure.
To West Abdullah, so they weren't committed to that. They were committed to not voting for Kamala Harris. That's what they were committed to.
Yeah, I mean, if you had flipped all of us, right, it still wouldn't have.
No, I know that is true. I mean, in terms of the numbers. But what I'm pointing out is a couple things. I think what people are reacting to is that you may have moved people away from voting or away from Harris that don't reflect in those numbers. And two, your extraordinary talents and the talents of Dr. West and Dr. Abdullah, they may have moved more people into the other column. To me,
it goes the same. Kamala may have moved people away from her, and Trump may have moved people away from him. So I totally reject. And for 13 weeks, 12 weeks, we had to hear things like voting for a third party.
I think you're going to be hearing it a while longer than that.
Let the facts, let the data, let what I believe you and I agreed on, that it was going to come down to white women, white voters, and even if every black person in America voted for Kamala Harris, it wouldn't have tipped the election.
No, and you know what I did see? I was concerned about white women, and my concern played out because I know historically how they vote.
Yeah. So
it's not that I don't like white girls. It's not because I got people on my Instagram too mad about what I'm saying. But it's not that.
Hit dog holler, right?
The point is that's historically what's happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the Latino men breaking for Harris in such a big way. I mean, for Trump in such a big way. And to me, that's super ironic because many of those folks that voted for Trump, their cousins, aunties, moms, dads, friends are in danger of deportation.
I mean, patriarchy is real across the board, right? And so the machismo, the macho stuff, and
I mean, I always thought of machismo as kind of a racist term, but I don't know. Because why does it apply more to one group of men?
No. I'm talking about men supporting. Yeah. Another man, right?
I heard one Trump supporter say that it was some rapper, I can't remember who, maybe Miles remembers, that president is a man's job.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know the American people have now twice affirmed that, right?
And 47 times.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about the other 45.
Yeah, the 45 men that had the job. Yeah,
who had.
We want to talk about Africa. Africa's had a number of women presidents, including Tanzania, which has one right now.
Yeah, I mean, so if the Kamala supporters, if the DNC supporters really care about repairing, right? Because what we're hearing now consistently is that the DNC didn't connect with the black community.
Yeah, okay, that's not anything new if it's true. But the thing about it is, I think all this self-flatulation on the part of Democrats ain't it.
It's racism. No, I mean that
ain't it. What we need to be focused on is dismantling the ways that these fascists have organized and infiltrated so many of our institutions of government, education, blah, 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 blah. And that, okay.
Well, we would welcome you over to the Justice for All party, right? Like, come on over with us, and we'll organize together. But
okay, maybe.
But
I've supported, West and Abdullah in the primary. My priority was and remains defeating fascism. That's why I'm saying Democratic Party going around, beating their chest about, oh, we didn't do this. I do agree with Bernie Sanders, though. You hear what he said?
I didn't. What did he say?
That a party that has abandoned the working class should not be surprised when the working class abandons them.
Facts.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's not just Kamala Harris. That's the Dems. They don't want to say working class. They don't want to say poor. They don't want to say cities. They just want to say middle class, middle class, middle class. And I think that's a mistake. I've always thought that was a mistake.
They didn't want to say Gaza. They didn't want to say police. And there were a lot of things they did that they didn't say.
Well, she said Gaza. She did. She did. Y'all didn't think she went far enough, but she absolutely did.
Well,
the thing about it is, you're kind of like right now, you're kind of reminding me a little bit of the Republicans.
There you go. Can I be an independent, free-thinking black man?
You can be whatever you want.
I've heard that for weeks and weeks and weeks. Not just from you, but from others.
Can I finish my sentence?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
In this way.
Okay.
Republicans want to spend the next month talking about everything wrong with Kamala Harris. She didn't win.
I haven't said anything.
Yeah, you did. She didn't talk about Gaza. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. Okay.
Yeah, I was responding. But what I'm saying is, before this, we ran into some disagreement early on when you misunderstood me asking questions about Harris. I waited to hear what her policies were.
Those questions are talking points.
They were not talking.
She doesn't have any policies.
Well, she at that time, Dominique, she didn't.
Okay. We'll just continue to agree to disagree. Okay. But my point is, why are we litigating Kamala Harris? Just like the Republican trolls that are calling in here. I guess you could say, what did she do? What could she do better? One of the things that I really take issue with some of my progressive brethren is that they're saying, well, Kamala Harris didn't do this, Kamala Harris didn't do that. Okay, she was trying to win an election. But they want to skip over the fact that she's a black woman. Not only has America never elected a woman, they've definitely never elected a black woman. And the black woman is and continues to be the most discriminated against, most disrespected human in this country. So I think to kind of conveniently skip over that and not take that into account as part of what happened is problematic.
Let me say this. Vice President Harris did the best job under the circumstances and the conditions that she was dropped into this race. I think it was unfair to her from the beginning for President Joe Biden to continue in his white moment of white supremacy and decide that he knows what's best for the country when the most patriotic thing Joe Biden could have done was dropped out of this election certainly sooner, possibly Article 25, 2 years into the term, to give the sister a chance. I get you.
I just feel like we're kind of both repeating stuff we said for months, and I'm ready.
You ready to move forward?
No,
Let's
ready.
organize.
That's what we need to be.
We need to be organized. That's what happened.
You can look in the rearview mirror that's what the cable channels are going to do ad nauseum.
Absolutely.
Repeating the same points over and over
again. Well, they're
again.
selling ads.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, Dr. Abdullah, in her remarks, immediately went to organizing.
Yeah,
that's where we are now.
And the statement that BLM Grassroots, which is Black Lives Matter, put out, same thing. A lot of people, same thing. We are taking calls, Bad Hombre, 800-920-1580. Just welcoming James in. Molly Bell says, you two, neither of our choices win. She also says there was some shenanigans going on, just saying, that's all caps. A lot of people feel that, and I'm like, I would not be surprised. Elon Musk is a master manipulator of computers. Oh, supposedly he still doesn't have self-driving cars, but and Trump is a liar and a cheater. But until I see the proof, I'm not going to be him and run around and say, "Stop the steal."
Stop the steal. Well, Harris said she is going to support a peaceful transfer of power. That's what her remarks were yesterday. So she has shown some leadership, you know.
I mean, that's the tradition, right?
That is the tradition. I mean,
Trump is the only one, and then Al Gore, but he had good reason.
I guess we got to wait for, what was his name, Maya Rudolph on Saturday to say, girl, y'all got it wrong, right? Like, that's what I was looking for in her concession speech yesterday, that the American people got it wrong.
Well, yeah. I think... You know,
that's a critique.
She was trying to keep it classy, and she did. She did say, "I concede the race, but not the fight." I thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's aspirational, you know.
Okay, we got some folks on the phone, and also I like that she spoke to the young people and said, "Look, you don't always win. The fight is long. That doesn't mean you give up," because for a lot of young voters, first time, they haven't had to deal with this kind of disappointment.
Right. It's tough out there.
How are you handling your disappointment?
Who said I was disappointed?
Well, I would think. I mean, I was disappointed that Dr. West isn't president.
Well, Dr. West, as I said before, had already won. I told you before
because of raising the issues, which is what they say.
So I plan to come into yesterday unbothered, right? Whatever the results were. I am disappointed, though. I'm disappointed, as I said here, that before, she was the best choice under the circumstances. So I had no interest in seeing Donald Trump as president. I mean,
I think we covered that.
I mean,
okay, we got some people that have been waiting. Let's go to Carl calling us from LA. Hi, Carl.
Hey, Dominique, how you doing? You and your guest.
Blessed. What's on your mind?
Yeah. No, hey, I'm here. I mean, I heard something earlier in your first hour, and I looked at the news, and they are trying to move all these small county buildings, city buildings, into one large building on Adams and Grand and Fifth, in one of them big tower buildings, the gas company and the U.S. Bank. Have you ever been up in one of them buildings, man? It's a mess. It's trying to get upstairs, trying to get down.
Yeah, that's something we talked about earlier. That they're trying to move actually the county offices into another, and that's because it would save money on the retrofit. But I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I'm not gonna, give you an opinion.
Terrible. Anyway, I want to give thanks to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden for the canceling the student debts. I know 2 people got their debts canceled, and I want to give ops to them that they did a good job on that. And I hope it holds up, because I heard one of your callers say that Donald Trump might get in there and overturn anything.
Yeah, he might. But those debts that have already been canceled, they're not going to go back in and.
No, they're canceled. I appreciated that. Our household benefited from those.
It's just interesting how people are talking about it now, but they didn't really. It didn't land during the election. But yeah, I think if you got your debt canceled, I think you're good. I think if you got your felony expunged or downgraded to a misdemeanor under Prop 47, you're good. It's just everyone from now on that gets screwed.
Right. But that's a whole different problem.
I mean, I won't say now on until we fix it again.
But that's a whole other problem, right? I don't believe Trump. I've never believed him. He is a liar. So it's hard to take at face value that he will, in fact, do everything he said he intends to do, even though he said in his victory speech that he intends to keep his promises, right? It's hard to...
Yeah, well, I mean, liars always say that. They don't say, oh, yeah, I lied. Other people are saying that. Other supporters of his, oh, yes, it was about Project 2025 all along, ha, ha, ha.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll see. I mean, it's difficult and it's disappointing. I honestly thought, I told you before, I would be surprised if she won, right? I thought that the reproductive health issues would have been enough to pull her over across all parties, across all races.
Yeah, well, and that's why I was critical of the white women, and some of my white women friends did not appreciate that. James Farr is here. You're welcome in. 800-920-1580. I call him like I see him. What is the data saying? Yeah, that's what we're evidence-based talk radio. I know. Maybe you're not used to it, but that's what we do around here. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
So the thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it's uncomfortable to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. And only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for up to 8 hours for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer's suggested price, however, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer, excludes 8-count packs.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
James Farr is in the building. You're invited in 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. The House of Representatives still not decided. That's going to be super important because although now Drumpf can pretty much get anyone he wants into his cabinet because they control the Senate.
Right.
And it's not slim. They control it by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
At least if the Dems take the House, we could slow down some of their legislative agenda.
Right.
So a little bit of nail biting there. Selena Rick says she's not disappointed because this is a wake-up call for black people. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid and get organized as a collective. Ben Frank says never split the vote. Look, you guys are invited in. You are always invited to tell your side of the story. 800-920-1580. So we have seen some victories, joy inside my tears, right?
Oh, yeah? What are you excited about?
Well, I'm excited that we're going to have 2 black women in the Senate
Mm-hmm.
for the first time
Mm-hmm.
ever in
Mm-hmm.
history
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, 2
Mm-hmm.
black women. We've had, 3 total in all of history?
Mm-hmm.
And Mosley Braun, Kamala Harris, and LaFonza Butler. No, black women. I'm talking.
I'm
about.
sorry. Yes, I mean,
And LaFonza Butler. So,
correct.
Yeah. So now we'll have 2
Mm-hmm.
with Blunt and Blunt and also Brooks. So that's big. I
Right.
think it's really big.
I mean, but it will impact blocking some of Trump's appointments to his cabinet. Because he can pretty much, Elon Musk, Department of Transportation now.
Well, he's not. He said he's going to put Elon Musk in charge of eliminating waste from the federal budget. Musk already said he's going to cut more than $1 trillion, and that the American people will have to suffer some economic pain for a long-term gain.
Wow.
Yeah, he's already telling you he's going to. This is going to hurt. It's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
Right. And you were making the point that if Democrats get the House, that will affect some of the legislation and bills that are pushed through.
Yeah, because you need to pass them through the House and the Senate. Okay, let's go to Dr. Rosie Milligan calling us from L.A. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning, Dominique. Let me make a few points. Number one, this election was about race, penis, and vagina. Let me keep moving. I'm leaning to the scripture that all things work together for good. Now, maybe this will push black folks, Negroes, colored people to organize for real this time and understand the not inclusion. Now,
so hold on one sec. I'm not gonna stop you from saying, but no. But I just want to interject before I forget. You don't think that Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X organized for real?
They did. Okay. But since then, it has not taken place because we want to cover all bases, all inclusion. Every time we get up, every time I listen to the town hall meeting and the state of Black America, I hear more people getting up talking about
I think it's
black and brown.
It's a generalization. I think Black Lives Matter is organizing for black people, and they've done so really effectively, and there's probably others. But anyway, you had some other points.
They have done well, but I mean on a real point. I mean from the church, from the school. I mean everybody, not just a patch of group over here doing it. Gotcha. I want black folks to understand, Dominique, that there's no plane coming for you. No train, no bus, no car, no bicycle. We got to walk this journey by ourselves. And now I hope we understand that it is just us. And we must think about W.E.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, all these people who have told us, do for self what we need to do. Who are we going to hear? I was in a meeting just a few weeks ago, and I heard a group of black people talking about a market that's going to be at Slauson Crenshaw, owned by Hispanics. We need to tell them they need to do this. They can't play their music. I stood up and said, you cannot tell people what to do when they build their business. And I mentioned to them, Dominique, I said, big lot on Crenshaw and Manchester is closing. So why aren't we talking about buying a market? We got to wake up and understand this journey is about us, and our kids, our next generation, is being thrown under the bus because of what's taking place, even from the housing, from Prop 19. We got some big issues, and I respect what you said about Black Lives Matter, but you got a lot of black folks, I ain't going to be bothered with them. I ain't getting involved with that Black Lives Matter stuff. We better come together. Even with our indifferences, we got to build on what's going to get us out of the ditch, whether we like my hairstyle, whether you like my agenda.
Okay, hold that thought, Dr. Rosie Milligan. We've got a hard stop here for news, traffic, and sports. We'll continue on the other side. Stay right there. KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Vice President Kamala Harris conceded the presidential race to Donald Trump at Howard University. She congratulated Trump and emphasized the peaceful transfer of power. Harris vowed to continue fighting for America's future and thanked Governor Tim Walz for his campaign efforts. And Japanese researchers have launched the world's first wooden satellite. This palm-sized satellite will be sent to the International Space Station and then released into orbit 250 miles above Earth. It will stay in orbit for several months to test how wood endures space conditions. The White House says President Biden will address the nation this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Biden spoke with Trump Wednesday and congratulated him on his election victory. He also invited Trump to the White House to talk about a smooth transition of power. And the Cowboys might be without their franchise quarterback for longer than expected. NFL Network is reporting that Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott is dealing with a hamstring injury. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on holiday decor, tools, and more. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details, subject to change.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers made sure Paul George did not have a happy homecoming Wednesday night. The Clippers cruised to a 110-98 win over Philadelphia at the Intuit Dome. It was George's first game against his former team. PG played 24 minutes and finished with 18 points and 4 turnovers. Norman Powell led the Clippers with 26 points. The Clippers are 4-4. The Lakers wrapped up a 5-game road trip, losing 4 out of 5. They were dominated by Memphis, 131-114. Memphis shot 50% from three-point range. The Lakers' perimeter defense needs some work. Anthony Davis did not play. He's got a bruised left foot. LeBron had 39 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Oklahoma City is no longer the only undefeated team in the Western Conference. OKC lost by 2 at Denver. 29 points for Denver's Russell Westbrook. Oh man, he still would look good in a Clippers uniform. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
What? You brought us back early so we could talk to Dr. Rosie Milligan. James Farr's here. Dr. Milligan was basically saying, for those just joining, that this could be a wake-up call for Black people. She also started out saying this race was about race and gender, but she said it in her own way.
In her own way. I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah. Dr. Milligan, you there?
Yes, I am.
So I do appreciate that first comment, because I think a lot of the analysis is just trying to skip over the race and gender piece and say, oh, Generation X handed this victory to Trump. Oh, it was the uneducated. It was the economy, instead of saying white supremacy, misogyny. Anyway, go ahead. You had a couple other points you wanted to make.
Yeah, in Germany, and even when you think about the gender, when you think of a woman being president, I think people would turn over in their grave to think, even if it was a woman that was going to be the president of the United States, to usher a black woman to be the first president, that was just too much for them to stand. And I always told people, all those people who were rallying and talking, I said, when they go behind that curtain, you don't know how they are going to vote. But I still say this is the biggest wake-up call, as far as I'm concerned, history for us. If we don't get it now, Dominique, if we don't get it from this, I don't know if we'll ever get it.
I mean, I think we get it incrementally. What do you say? I mean, we get it one step at a time. What is it? 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. It's not fun, but you're still making progress.
I mean, some of us have woken up a long time ago, and we see it for exactly what it is. And so, too often unity is weaponized when we don't agree. And so where there could be allyship, right? Where there could be some common interests, as I found through this process, no one has approached me and tried to bring me over to unite with them. It's been met with attacks. It's been met with insults. It's been met with labels. And so we're not a monolith. We're not all going to agree on anything, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're not a monolith as a talking point, too. But I understand what you're saying. Look, and one of the things we were talking about during News, Traffic, and Sports is that I do think that, well, I know that. It's clear. If you look at the math that Dr. Melina Abdullah posted, that you posted, there were not enough votes that went to West and Abdullah to have saved Kamala Harris. Not even close.
Not even close.
I think that that is a fair point. But what I was saying is nobody wants to hear you kicking her when she's down right now. She took some hard hits trying to defeat a behemoth of white supremacy oligarchy.
She did.
And nobody wants to hear that right now. Nobody wants to hear you kicking her while she's down right now.
I haven't. You can't frame me that way. I haven't kicked her, right? The only thing that I've shared, and this is my first time speaking, right, since the results have come out. The only thing I shared was information that was reported on this station that you commented on about the data, exit polls, and white women. That's it. I'm not kicking her while she's down. But I think there also does, I'm here to hold space. That's the first thing I said. I want to hear what people have to say. But then I also wonder, when are we going to restore people like me? Because for weeks, you guys attacked us intellectually dishonestly, saying that our votes were a vote for Trump. And now the numbers.
I don't think it's intellectual dishonesty. I think people believe that.
Okay. All right.
That's not the same as intellectual dishonesty. Because so many people have told me that. Talk to your girl, talk to your boy.
But because you believe it doesn't make it true, right? I believe a lot of things.
But it doesn't make it intellectually dishonest. You just don't like it. And
well, for some people it is. Some people are flat out, let's just call it what it is. They flat out lying, and they carried a fear bucket of water and doused it on black folks this entire election cycle. If you don't do this, you better do that. That's what we heard, instead of, as you kind of came around to, let's focus on what we want and not what we don't want.
We can, and that's a two-way street, Mr. Farr. I've taken a lot of heat from my progressive friends. Why are you supporting her? You're supporting genocide, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's your opinion. You can come for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hold my position because I have thought it through deeply.
Mm-hmm.
I have meditated on it, and I am following the footsteps of my dad, the great Amiri Baraka, a.k.a. Leroy Jones, and what he did with Barack Obama, which made a lot of sense to me. Prioritize defeating fascism. Right? And there was a lot of things that VP Kamala Harris put forth that I agreed with. I don't vote for evils, lesser or greater.
Mm-hmm.
I vote for what I want. So I take the heat and I keep it pushing. I'm used to it.
Nor was I voting to be a spoiler.
And
right?
Like y'all was, okay, she's a corporate Democrat. She's an elite. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm stupid. It just means we have a different
I just don't feel
viewpoint.
The love from y'all, right?
Okay.
Like I believe your leadership, the leadership and the advocacy wasn't coming from a space of love, and so the West Abdullah campaign is all about love. Like, it leads with love.
Agreed, but people didn't want to be here where we are right now with President Trump, and maybe that's why you didn't get the love and cuddling that you might have been requiring.
I was not trying to spoon with any other person that voted for Kamala Harris, but my wife, right?
Absolutely right. Well, yeah. See, I didn't
need that kind of love.
No, he's blaming us for what happened at home.
No, not at all. I mean, my wife gets it.
I'm sure she does. Selena says we need to learn how to critique and love and agree, not to agree, to I know what you mean. Disagree without disrespect. Dr. Milligan, were you done? Did you land?
Yeah, no, I want to say one other thing. The gentleman just said that he believed that, black folks have woke up. Yeah, you're right. To wake up and get up is two different things. So a lot of people wake up every day, but they don't get up and do nothing.
Amen.
I'm talking about wake up, get up.
Oh, you sound like Michelle Obama right now. Do something.
I'm tired of all this waking up and laying back down.
Wow, I wouldn't mind that today, but I feel you, Dr. Milligan. Molly Bell says Dr. Milligan talks the talk and walks the walk. She has her own bookstore, business, Black Writers on Tour, her own show, podcast. I love me some Dr. Rosie Milligan. You got fans in the YouTube chat, Dr. M.
No, it's all love for Dr. Rosie. I'm very much aware of who's on the other side of the line, right? So I'm not questioning you, ma'am. I know who you are and what you stand for and how you show up. It's them other ones we talking about, right?
Yeah, because we don't have time to play. I tell people when I speak, they go, well, you hard on black folks. I said, look, I didn't come here to play.
Yeah, well, we know that. If we haven't figured that out by now, we need to get another profession. But Dr. Rosie Milligan, you got folks fired up in the chat. That's always a good thing. And I think that where she started with is something that really seems simple, but it's true, and people are skipping over it. What does this say about race, racism, anti-blackness, white supremacy, and what does it say about gender?
This whole thing for this entire cycle was about whiteness. That's one of the first things I said. This race is about whiteness and white domination, and that's what's played out.
Yeah,
that's what.
Well, Molly Bell says we love you, James Farr. Your wife gets it.
Thank you, Miss Bell.
And Vessie Turner says I'm rationalizing. No, that's called a logic. I make all my decisions that way. I look at the facts, I look at the data, I look at my politics, my moral compass, and then I make a decision. Just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean I don't understand. We can agree to disagree. That's fine. You're still part of the delegation.
Yeah. But y'all show was throwing stones and throwing a lot of rocks.
We're like Rosie Milligan. We don't play.
I know y'all don't play, but I think a lot of you
and you threw a few yourself.
I mean, you throw a pebble at me, I may hurl a boulder back, right? Like I'm not the one.
Virgos will come with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I'll catch a whole bunch of them, but you're not gonna like the response. But no, Dominique, you, unlike others, have held space, right, for opposing viewpoints, and I appreciate that, right, because just like Dr. Abdullah and Dr. West, there was a media blackout. They didn't get the access to even push forward their message. If it weren't for black radio like KBLA and other black media outlets appearing on Conversation Line, I don't know where they would have been, right?
Oh, and speaking of love, I have taken quite a bit of criticism
for
having you and Dr. Melina on the show all the time because we're trying to win an election. And, I understand that. Mm-hmm. I do hold the space.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you can't take the heat,
don't
come in the kitchen.
I'm complimenting you because you provided a space. And that was important for us. For all of us through this cycle. Others have, like I said, I was muted on a radio show one time for talking about the candidates, right? Not here, but
I was about to say, no, that wasn't no KBLA
no,
show.
Absolutely not.
We don't mute you. We just take a shot. Incoming Friendly fire. Okay, we're going to continue this conversation. We got some more folks on the phone. Rosie Milligan set it off. We're inviting you, 800-920-1580. This is a place where we elevate black and progressive voices, agree or disagree, around the clock. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Whether you're going over the river and through the woods in the capable Silverado 1500, getting the choir to church on time in the 3-row Traverse,
Thank you.
or driving cross town to deliver your famous Cajun-spiced holiday turkey in the Equinox EV, America's most affordable EV with a 315-plus mile range. Add confidence to every holiday adventure and get it done with a rugged and capable Chevy truck or SUV. Find your red tag. Get 0% APR financing for 36 months on select popular Chevy models when you finance with GM Financial. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Offer available on all 2025 Equinox and 2024 Silverado, Equinox EV, Blazer EV, and Silverado EV models. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 22.2%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 12/2/24.
Thank you.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
As Cybersecurity Awareness Month winds down, LifeLock reminds you to update your software regularly. These updates fix security flaws that could be exploited by identity thieves. But don't stop there. LifeLock offers comprehensive identity theft protection that goes the extra mile. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious use of your info, but also takes action to resolve identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
James Farr is here with me, and let's go to Keyshawn calling us from Inglewood. Good morning, Keyshawn. You have the mic.
Good morning, Dominique DiPrima and guests. You can call me Meticulous Keys, but I just wanted to call in and, again, I had anxiety that, Monday night through that Tuesday morning. And there's a guy, Myron Golden, said something that just stuck with me and it's just been on me. And it's just when you talk about listening to divisive speaking or divisive tongues, let's say that. When we as a race, and that means everyone, because there's only one race, that's a human race. When we can become one, understanding that we are all part of the human race, I think we will get away from any type of division. And unfortunately, this world we live in and on this realm that we're on, this realm of man, we have a born date and we have an end date. And Cornel West, like you said, out of that love and coming from that background, I do resonate with that. But we knew that ticket wasn't going to be, wasn't going to do what it was going to do, like your speaker previously said. But I'm just trying to get out of this mindset of this thing we use as race, because it can be weaponized. And I understand,
it was designed to be a weapon. That's the whole social construct of race. Created to be a weapon, yeah.
Correct. But if we understand that we are all part of one race, and that's the human race, and we are all not going to live here. But if we, I'll frame it this way. If you put a country and you go to particularly, you can say Africa.
Africa's a continent, but yeah.
It's a continent. Okay, but it's a continent. But if they're all people of one color there, you're going to have the same problems and the same issue. So...
Well, they have problems, but they're different problems. But I understand your point. I also think that there's one race that's human, but we also have ethnicity, culture, nationality, religion, and so there's variety within people, even though they're one race. But go ahead and. I mean, I know you. Well, James, you want to talk?
No, I mean, I'm trying to follow him. I think if I hear you, you're talking about mankind, like humanity and humans, right? Race was constructed to be just that, right? To put one ahead of the other. And to your point about Dr. West and Dr. Abdullah, it did what it was supposed to do, right? And what it was supposed to do was to galvanize. This was a people movement, and not so much a movement about election and votes. And so it's
issues, right?
Issues, right? So it's for the future. It wasn't as we define winning now. That was not the goal. The goal was to mobilize. And so what we did was there's 50,000 folks who share a common value and a common interest, and they just want to build on that.
Some of it also has to be about party building, right? I mean, to me, the thing I would love to see, my critique with love, is let's keep that same energy for the next 4 years and not pop up in another 4 years with another presidential ticket and not have done any work to build the party up further.
Well, I can't speak for what happened prior to June of 2023 when Dr. West announced his campaign. I can only speak going forward. I hadn't been a part of a political party in years, decades, right? I have traditionally voted Democratic all of my life, except for the last.
But not joined the party.
Well,
and you you're a member of the Justice for All.
I'm a member of, yes.
So yeah, and I know Cornel West, Dr. West started in green, and then jumped off that ticket for whatever reason and started his own party.
Yeah, I don't want to characterize it as jumped off. There's some nuance in there, some things that
was pushed off, jumped off. I mean, I've always said that black people should take over the Green Party, but Jill Stein appears to be planning to run until she's 200. So
gatekeeping shows up, in many different ways with those who claim to be our allies. So we have to be vigilant.
Yep.
And watch out for that. And so this is a long haul. I don't know if Dr. West will be around or in terms of running in 4 years. I don't know if Dr. Abdullah would ever run again, right? But the movement is still there.
Yeah, building third and fourth and fifth parties. Keyshawn, did you want to land?
I'll just land on this. I guess, the polling, one of the things that was confusing in the media was when they said that this wasn't going to be called in one day, and then next, it was called before 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that did puzzle me because I'm like, wait a minute, how y'all going to tell everybody that? Oh no, it's going to be days before this election? Because if it was flipped, you already know somebody would be already up in a roar. What your last caller was just speaking about. Trump would be up in a roar if he lost, and it would have been called that same night. He would have been, it would have been an issue. But I'll also just land with this. The Simpsons already showed a black woman as president.
Uh-oh. That means it's going to happen. What I know for sure, it won't be me.
For sure.
I know for sure it won't be me.
The Simpsons have not been wrong yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, a lot of people share your sentiment, and we know that the Steve Bannons of the world, they got shenanigans for you behind, right? What I am saying is I don't want to be them, so I need to see proof, and I believe the proof and the truth will come out because they think they slick, but they ain't that slick.
We'll see. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, Dominique, until there's actually something there. 4 years ago, we later find out that there was nothing there, right? And that was Trump touting, the steal and all that. So I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Well, Ken C says, I knew we were in trouble when I dropped my ballot off and passed the longest line at the dispensary since it opened 3 years ago. They were going to get blue even if we didn't vote blue. And then Cornel says he wants to see Trump have the dog catch all the cars, exhaust them all, and prove their BS right or wrong. And that's pretty much what Jeanette was saying. She wants him to deport everyone, to be a dictator on day one, to, get rid of all of the climate emergency measures that we're taking and have a really rough day of policing and give cops total immunity. What do you say to that?
And you say the empire must fall first before we can rebuild it? Yeah, there's some substance there. I mean, first of all, the deporting part of it, there's no infrastructure to do what he's purportedly saying he's going to do. He didn't do it the last time.
Maybe he'll hire immigrants to deport the immigrants. That's how he gets his golf courses cleaned at night.
Yeah. No, I mean, we really have to reimagine what all of this looks like. And to Dr. Rosie's point, if we don't wake up, I mean, if we going to continue, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. I don't feel that either the GOP or the DNC serve in the best interest of African Americans, of us.
We got a couple minutes here. What's your vision moving forward? What's next for your activism?
For my activism? Well, for my activism, I'm back onto the police issues, right, which is where I know and feel most comfortable. But on this more national level, it's really, there's such a tribe and community that's been formed around this West Abdullah ticket. And so I won't speak for the campaign. They're going to be rolling out some things that they're going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to show up in spaces as an independent, as a third party, person. I'm going to encourage other people to join me in this walk.
No party affiliation.
Well, I mean, it is party affiliation. It's just justice for all. So that is a little bit different. But there's a home here. There's a space here in this particular movement for those who aspire or have the same values. And there's no judge. Like, there's no, I didn't attack people. You're voting for Trump. You're stupid. You're voting for West. That's dumb, right? Like, there's no space for that. I love you, right? Your choices are your choices. My choices are mine. And I think if we keep that agape spirit going forward, it may be whimsical, it may be ideological, right? But
I'm just laughing because people that know me know it's all love.
I know
but
that.
We gonna fight.
Listen,
it's love and basketball.
I only fight with and for things I love.
Aw.
So I wouldn't even entertain this with you if I didn't first come from a space of love, if I didn't have love for you as a human being, which is what the other brother was saying, is that we're all humans. We just disagree. I think you're wrong, but I don't have to insult you.
Well, more on that later. You can find him at James Farr Live on most platforms, and that's the name of the website. James, thank you for your work this election season and the conversation.
Thank you, Dominique.
All right, we'll see you soon. It's the perfect time to call me. News, traffic, and sports and more on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Vice President Kamala Harris conceded the presidential race to Donald Trump at Howard University. She congratulated Trump and emphasized a peaceful transfer of power. Harris vowed to continue fighting for America's future and thanked Governor Tim Walz for his campaign efforts. And Japanese researchers have launched the world's first wooden satellite. This palm-sized satellite will be sent to the International Space Station and then released into orbit 250 miles above Earth. It will stay in orbit for several months to test how wood endures space conditions. The White House says President Biden will address the nation this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Biden spoke with Trump Wednesday and congratulated him on his election victory. He also invited Trump to the White House to talk about a smooth transition of power. And the Cowboys might be without their franchise quarterback for longer than expected. NFL Network is reporting that Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott is dealing with a hamstring injury. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on holiday decor, tools, and more. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details, subject to change.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers made sure Paul George did not have a happy homecoming Wednesday night. The Clippers cruised to a 110-98 win over Philadelphia at the Intuit Dome. It was George's first game against his former team. PG played 24 minutes and finished with 18 points and 4 turnovers. Norman Powell led the Clippers with 26 points. The Clippers are 4-4. The Lakers wrapped up a 5-game road trip, losing 4 out of 5. They were dominated by Memphis, 131-114. Memphis shot 50% from three-point range. The Lakers' perimeter defense needs some work. Anthony Davis did not play. He's got a bruised left foot. LeBron had 39 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Oklahoma City is no longer the only undefeated team in the Western Conference. OKC lost by 2 at Denver. 29 points for Denver's Russell Westbrook. Oh man, he still would look good in a Clippers uniform. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Beloved Entertainment and the Miracle Theater Foundation presents Sweet Spot live with KBLA's own Angelique Francis, Sunday, November 17th. Angelique is live on stage featuring storytellers from the community. Call a